Hi guys, Happy New Year. It's the year 2020. Boy, time flies, doesn't it? Hey, what better way to start the new year than a really cool Magneto restoration. I got this one in from a customer of mine in Germany, and it's a cool mag. I do quite a few of them. It's an Eisemann GS4. And it goes on a 1919 cleat tractor. Got it in a little while ago and getting around to getting it restored. And it's fairly rough. You'll see it in a minute. I'll turn the camera around and show you the Magneto on my bench here. But thought I'd do a video of this one. They're not common, but they're around. I do quite a few of them, and they're very good Magnetos. Eisemann made a good Magneto. So we'll get the camera turned around here and show you the mag as I got it in. We're gonna have to try to find some parts. There's a couple parts that are broken or missing, and we'll do our best to replace them and get this one restored and looking like a brand new mag. So stay with me throughout this video here. It won't be too long. I'm hoping I try to keep them fairly brief and show you the progress as we go along. Okay guys, here it is. Eisemann GS4. I did start taking it apart because I was concerned that the impulse, this is all that's left of the impulse plate, the plate that stops the rotation of the impulse cup. So I wanted to check that out, and unfortunately this is what I found. The whole front end is broken, so that's not a good thing. Unfortunately, the Eisemann G4s and the GS4s and a lot of the Eisemann Magnetos are built so that this entire housing, this part here included, all the way down to the base, all the way across, the front, everything is a single casting, unlike some of the Bosch Magnetos where the front end comes off, 4 machine screws, and it comes off. The back end on the Bosch mags, 4 machine screws, that comes off, and what's left is the main housing that holds the magnet and the base, and if there's problems with either of those, they can be replaced. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is find another good housing, and that's not the easiest thing because they're not super common, and the fact that a lot of these, the metal here is so thin that many of them are chipped or broken here. So once, same thing, if that gets chipped or broken, well, guess what? The Magnetos, the whole housing has to be replaced. The breaker on this one too is pretty good. The cam ring is good, but I noticed the cover has some cracks and breaks, so I'm going to be looking to replace that. The cam ring is decent. That'll clean up. The rotor looks good. Points look good. Everything else looks good. It does turn. Sorry, it does turn over, so that's good. Bearings are bad, and it's not real easy to turn, so I'll have to check out that coil. But next time around, we'll see how far I get, and I'll show you some more progress on this thing. Okay guys, we're back. I got it apart, and It didn't come apart too bad, but wow, look at that coil. Holy cow, that is terrible. It I'm sure melted down inside here. All the tar has come out and leaked all over everything, and has just caked on here. Really, really, really bad. This coil is really soft and mushy, not good. So we're going to end up rebuilding that armature. Impulse, the rotor's got a pretty good groove wore into it. I'm going to look into replacing that. There's quite a bit I think I might have to replace, and mainly is that housing. That's really bad. I don't know if you can see on the inside here, but oh boy, that's bad too. Look at all the tar at the bottom there. But luckily I won't have to clean that, because I think we will have to replace it, because that front end is not repairable, and we can't leave it that way. So I'm going to start getting a rewound coil in here and rebuild the condenser, and start finding some parts and get this thing going back together as soon as I can. So stay with me here, and we'll get her done. Thanks, bye. All right, guys, we're back. Got a lot of work done here, and found a few things. Kind of lucked out here. I did find a Magneto that had this, the impulse plate. Isn't that something? Cleaned it all up, and boy, it's beautiful. I don't know what this is. It looks like brass, but it doesn't. You know, it's just like, it's like too white. I don't know. It just doesn't look like brass to me. Maybe because it's cast. There's a chance that it could be aluminum bronze too, instead of just brass. Brass is a alloy of zinc and copper. Aluminum bronze, which is also sometimes called naval bronze, is aluminum in copper, and it's much stronger and much more corrosion resistant. That's why again, the nickname aluminum or naval bronze is because they made a lot of boat propellers out of that, because of its resistance to corrosion, especially in salt water. So anyways, a little side note. Here's a magnet, got a nice rotor, found one that's decent, no big groove in it. Cleaned up the impulse, painted some of the parts. Here's the coil. Boy, that was something, wasn't it? That last one you saw, holy cow, she was a mess. But got a new rewound coil in there, rebuilt the condenser, cleaned it all up, cleaned up the bearings. Had to replace, I think some of the ball bearings on the back end I replaced. The back end cleaned up good. Got a nice point cover that's not broken. Here's the cam ring. Boy, that cleaned up nice, didn't it? And here it is. Here's the housing. This was not the original housing that you saw. This is one that I had here, and kind of lucked out. Found a decent one that's not broken. So it's a beauty. Look at that front end. That's nice and clean. Nice magnet. But here's the deal. We're not out of the woods yet, because this impulse plate, guess what? It goes right here, just like this, and there are 4 screws that hold it on, and there are screw or machine screw bosses here, but there's 4 of them, but they're not drilled or tapped yet. So that's something I have to do yet, and it's always a little disconcerting when you start drilling into these things, you know, And really, I looked at it very, very carefully, and the screws only go in about as far as the back end of this. So got to be pretty careful not to drill all the way through. It's not going to go into the steel, which I was kind of hoping, but it's not going to. It'll go in about as deep as the end of this the back of this frame here on the front end of the Magneto. And then I'm going to have to tap them. The original machine screws, I believe, were 1032. So I'll have to drill and tap them, and then these four recessed screw indentations here. That's kind of where the head of the screws go. And then the impulse stop mechanism goes up here, and I have that. So, back to work. Nice coil though. Very happy about that. She's rebuilt and ready to go, tested, nice spark. So here we go. Got to keep working here. We got actually got a lot to do yet. So hang in there, and we'll talk soon. All right, guys, here it is, all done, and you saw it for yourself. It sparked very well on the test bench. Showed that just before this clip here, and wanted to just kind of thank you guys for hanging in there with me. This one was fun, and it was challenging. Lucked out, found all of the parts I needed to get this guy all back together. Nice impulse coupler. Boy, I think that's just beautiful. It's got a typical manual impulse where you can turn it on, and it'll impulse when you need to start the tractor, and it'll kick that pawl out of the way when it starts running. But boy, what a beautiful impulse on there. Solid brass. And looks and works perfectly. I didn't show the impulse, but I did check it, and it worked great. Got it all cleaned up. Nice cap, nice point cover, magnet painted, charged. So the clips were painted. Magnet is really a nice shape. I like the Eisemann name down here. That's cool. But yeah, she works good. So appreciate you guys hanging in there with me again, and keep an eye out for more videos. I'm always trying to come up with some new ones that I haven't done before. But meanwhile, if you need to get a hold of me, it's rebuiltmags.com on the internet, or rebuiltmags.com on Facebook, and my YouTube channel here, Rebuilt Mags. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time.